In 2010, 92-year-old Ellen Small graduated with her master's from the University of Texas. The topic of her research was romantic relationships in later adulthood. She said the only person she interviewed older than her was a 90-year-old man. She had started school in 1938, went for a year, stopped to get married, and returned to school after her husband died 62 years later. She went back to school because she promised her mother that she would finish. Ellen is not only cognitively fit, she is physically fit. She goes to the gym 3 times a week, runs on the treadmill, and works out with weights. Ellen is the perfect example of an ageitarian. She is actively aging by enhancing her emotional, mental, and physical health. Ageitarian is not a word found in the dictionary and only comes up once in an online Google search. Ageitarianism is a new word I coined for the growing tide of seniors that is coming sooner rather than later. Today there are more 60-year-olds than 15-year-olds, if you can imagine that. U.S. Census show by 2030 the largest U.S. demographic will be 80-year-olds, and by 2050 seniors will outpace new births. What that means to ageitarians is the population pyramid is turning upside down. There will be more senior citizens with less and less young people to take care of them. Active aging is the answer to growing old gracefully. To quote Bernard Baruch, "To me, old age is always 15 years older than I am." Will we all end up in nursing homes because of our poor health choices? How long before the healthcare system is overwhelmed with senior citizens? Ageitarians are not waiting for someone to figure it out. Rather, they are taking steps to ensure they're doing all they can to stay mentally, emotionally, and physically fit. The good news is research shows our lives improve when we actively take control of these 3 areas. Let us address mental aging first. The following studies found in lifespan development state that older adults are more likely than younger adults to use both hemispheres of their brain to compensate for age-related decline in attention, memory, and language. What that means is when we have to think fast because we're playing trivia in a bar, or we got in the cash cab in New York City, or we're taking a Kahoot quiz at school, we're not right-brained or left-brained, we're both-brained. Studies show when our brain isn't used, it begins to atrophy, creating a cascade of loss that can be slowed with neural cognitive exercises. Sounds complicated, though it's easier than you think. Improving our brain is fun. Have you tried Luminosity? My 77-year-old ageitarian client, Fred, recommended it to me. He does it 30 minutes a day, reads the paper, and then goes for a mile swim. Crossword puzzles, playing cards or board games, group discussions, or playing music on a daily basis has also been proven to add years to one's life. Mental decline can be improved with movement as well, namely exercise, which leads to my second area of research. Regular exercise and healthy eating habits have considerable benefits in preventing cardiovascular disease. According to an article in October's Fitness Journal, if we age passively, the slowdown can lead to dysfunction, poor physical and mental health, loss of independence, and a higher risk of immortality in older adults. Fatal falls due to dysfunction more than doubled between 2000 and 2012. Non-fatal falls increased 23%. Who hasn't fallen down in the last 6 months? You get up, you shake it off, or if like my neighbor, you end up in the ER. My last focus of active aging is emotional health. What makes you happy? According to Andy Stanley, it's the who's and not the what's. Consider a U.S. study that approximately 28 individuals between the ages of 18 and 88 that revealed happiness increased with age. 33% were very happy as 88-year-olds compared to 24% in their late teens and early 20s. Why is this? Despite the increase in physical problems and losses older adults experience, they are more content with what they have in their lives, have better relationships with people that matter to them, and are less pressured to achieve. As we've heard it so many times before, use it or lose it. Therefore, I leave you with the story of the world's oldest woman, Jean-Louise Clement, 122 years old when she passed in 1997. Her advice for actively aging includes keep a sense of humor. Don't worry about things you can't do anything about. Have an occasional glass of port and eat a diet rich in olive oil. She walked, biked, and exercised a lot. She took fencing lessons at 85 and rode her bike until she was 100. Like Jean-Louise, study after study proves that Staying active mentally, physically, and emotionally will significantly improve our lives as we age. As we enter the age of ageitarianism, we'll soon be the largest demographic in history. We are at the forefront of a changing society that's moving away from youth-based orientation to elder-based reality. A graying revolution that is going to affect not only us, but our children and grandchildren. And I, for one, look forward to riding my bike with my grandchildren for as long as I can. Thank you.